And new this morning, the city of Boulder is making changes to an intersection that they say has seen the highest number of crashes and severe crashes. 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez is live this morning at 28th and Colorado Avenue. Brianna, what kind of improvements were made to that intersection?
So the improvements that you'll see right at this intersection, 28th and Colorado Avenue, include a multi-use path, traffic signals, and then spaces between cars and bike lanes for better visibility. Now take a look at your screen, because here's a look of what that area looks like. Now we know that there were also changes made to bus lanes, so they will now be marked in red, similar to the green markings we see for bikes. City officials here in Boulder say this is a heavily traveled area. So this intersection is just off Highway 36, close to the CU Boulder's main campus. So you have students who walk through here to get to class, folks riding their bikes, scooters, plus tons of vehicles and CU's bus transit as well. So here's a breakdown of what the city of Boulder has seen throughout the years. There have been a total of 134 crashes since 2018. 21 of those crashes happened in 2021, including 2 that involved cyclists. A year later, the city reported 14 crashes, and last year there were 19, 2 that involved pedestrians.
We've seen improvements, and we've also heard from the community that they have appreciated the improvements. They feel safer, and especially with CU Boulder coming back to school this fall, we expect to see more improvements in people's experience on the intersection.
Now, Corey, Jordan, this is one of the many projects that the city of Boulder is looking to improve. We know that they're looking at other intersections. That includes Baseline, Iris, as well as Folsom Street. If you'd like more information about those projects, when they'll be completed, and they're also asking for community feedback, you can check 9news.com for all of that information. For now, I'm live here in Boulder, Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
All in the name of safety. All right, Brianna, thank you.
6:05 now, and today marks 3 weeks since former President Donald Trump put Aurora under a national spotlight, falsely claiming on the debate stage that a migrant gang has taken over the city. Aurora's new police chief is now responding, saying Tren de Aragua is in the city, but he says that the gang is small compared to larger, more established gangs in the metro area. Chief Todd Chamberlain says that the police department's focus right now is making sure TDA stays small. So far, APD has identified at least 10 people with ties to the gang. Chief Chamberlain explained that one of the biggest challenges is identifying gang members.
When I look at TDA, again, we have the opportunity to, one, stop it. We have the opportunity to address it. We have the opportunity to identify it in a way that might not be there in 2 or 3 years. So what we're doing now is really going to reflect on what happens down the road.
A week ago today, Trump pledged to visit Aurora himself within the next 2 weeks, and Democratic Governor Jared Polis has thoughts about the potential stop in Colorado. He had this to say while speaking with CNN yesterday.
Aurora is our 3rd biggest city, over 400,000 people. It's a terrific city. I was there last week. If the president comes, I hope he doesn't bring with him an element of lawlessness or people that are causing trouble.
Well, it's been a week and we have not received any details about a possible trip from Trump, but we do know now that his running mate is coming to Denver. Senator J.D. Vance is scheduled to attend a fundraiser on October 8th. It'll be hosted by mega donor Larry Mizell and former Colorado Senator Cory Gardner. Tickets start at $3,300. Not clear if Vance will take part in any public events, though, while he's here.
A Haitian group in Springfield, Ohio, has filed criminal charges against Trump and Vance over their allegations of immigrants eating pets. These were filed by the Haitian Bridge Alliance. It's a group that works with immigrants across the country, including the several thousand Haitians in Springfield. The group's charges claim that numerous threats to Springfield over the past few weeks has strained local resources and city services. A spokesperson from the Trump-Vance campaign released a statement saying, in part, quote, President Trump is rightfully highlighting the failed immigration system that Kamala Harris has overseen, bringing thousands of illegal immigrants pouring into communities like Springfield. City leaders and Ohio's governor have repeatedly declared that the Haitian migrants in Springfield are in the U.S. illegally.
A man who authorities say staked out Donald Trump for 12 hours on his golf course in Florida and wrote of his desire to kill him has been indicted on charges that he attempted to assassinate the former president. Ryan Routh had been initially charged with 2 federal firearms offenses. The upgraded charges reflect the Justice Department's assessment that he methodically plotted to kill the Republican nominee, aiming a rifle through the shrubbery surrounding Trump's West Palm Beach golf course on an afternoon that Trump was playing on it. Routh also left behind a note in which he described his intention.
At the White House, a bill to boost Secret Service protection for presidential candidates now sits on the president's desk. The Senate just passed the legislation unanimously, sending it to President Joe Biden for a signature. If signed into law, the bill gives former President Trump and Vice President Harris the same level of protection provided to the sitting president.
Right now, outrage is growing after the execution of a Missouri inmate last night. This came after the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a stay of execution. Marcellus Williams was put to death by lethal injection. The Missouri State Supreme Court and governor refused a stay despite protesters rallying outside the state capitol, along with both the prosecutor's office and the victim's family opposing the execution. Williams was on death row for the murder of Felicia Gale, a former newspaper reporter found stabbed to death in her home in 1998. Williams had always maintained his innocence, and prosecutors were reconsidering his case.
New legal trouble for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Another woman has come forward alleging that Combs and his bodyguard drugged and raped her at his New York recording studio in 2001. This comes a week after he was arrested on federal charges that include sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. The victim spoke publicly for the first time alongside her attorney Gloria Allred. Talia Graves says she has suffered from severe depression, PTSD, and continued physical pain because of the rape.
The combination of physical and emotional pain has created a cycle of suffering from which it is so hard to break free.
Combs already faces up to life in prison for the federal case if convicted. He has been moved into a general population area at a New York detention center. Combs has pleaded not guilty. His next court appearance is set for October 9th.
Right now, Visa is facing an antitrust lawsuit from the U.S. Justice Department. They allege that the company has monopolized the debit card market. The DOJ says that Visa has abused its position and it's driving up costs for businesses and consumers and preventing new alternatives from entering the market. Visa calls the suit, quote, meaningless, and says that they are proud of the value that they provide.
New this morning, a third person has been confirmed dead in a landslide after Hurricane John slammed into Mexico's southern coast, bringing heavy rainfall and triggering warnings of life-threatening floods. John has since weakened to a tropical storm as it's moving to the northwest. The National Hurricane Center says its slow movement and interaction with nearby mountains will likely contribute to catastrophic rainfall both along the coast and inland.
Right now, you are looking at a fencing barrier which has gone up at Tampa General Hospital as parts of Florida's Gulf Coast are bracing for Tropical Storm Helen, which is expected to strengthen into a hurricane. Mandatory evacuations are underway in at least 7 Florida counties right now.
We go through training. We have experience with this. We have high water vehicles. All of that is in place. The question is, are you in place? Are all your plans ready to go?
Helen is on track to reach Florida's northern Gulf Coast late Thursday. By then, it could actually be a Category 3 hurricane.
And for context, Category 3 or above is considered to be a major hurricane, and it's usually sustained winds of 120 miles an hour or greater. But by the way, Helen will have some indirect impacts on our weather here in Colorado later this week and this weekend. I'll explain those in just a second. In the meantime, the weather impact, the weather story for today. You're looking at it here, folks. It's the first Wednesday of fall, and these temperatures straight out of mid-August, 87 for us in Denver today. And if you think this is hot, wait till I show you what we've got in store for tomorrow in just a couple minutes in my full forecast.